Tim, Sean has brought Need for Speed Undercover over, haven't you?
That I have. Need for Speed Undercover. Why don't we get into it right away?
All right, sounds good. Let's just jump in because I know you have a pretty sweet ride.
I do have a pretty sweet ride. This is this is the Nissan 370Z. It was a car that they just unveiled last week, but it's already in Need for Speed Undercover. I'm kind of showing off some custom vinyl and aftermarket body modifications on this thing. It's a pretty sweet car.
So your car's heavily modifiable, if that is a word or a phrase.
I think it is, and the answer is yes. You can you can tune and tweak and adjust your cars pretty extensively. Now, basically the gist of Undercover is that it's a lot more like Need for Speed Most Wanted than it is the most recent one, Pro Street, meaning it's an open world racing game. It has cops in it, so you can really tick off the cops and they'll come after you, and they're pretty angry. And the cool part about it is that, like Burnout, you've got all these different events and objectives scattered around the world. I'll open up my GPS map here. It's got a pretty good variety. Circuit is a standard race, and then you've got stuff like Cost Estate, which is basically a destruction derby. You're running around, destroying police cars, knocking stuff over, just racking up as much damage as you can.
Now, doing that, are you going to hurt your car?
If I do that, I am going to hurt my car, but damage is mostly cosmetic. So right now, I'll just get into one of the basic circuit races. See if they can stand up to my sweet Shredding for Freedom Nissan.
All right, let's check out the sweet Shredding Nissan, which, interestingly enough, is a tongue twister.
Yes.
A stock paint job?
No, it is definitely not.
Really?
I should mention that. I customized that very thoroughly on my own. I believe the car is silver when you get it stock.
That would sound about right, because there's plenty of those.
Yeah.
So this tends to have more of kind of like European cars as opposed to like Dodge Neons.
There's definitely no Dodge Neons. There are American cars in there. You can get a Ford GT, you can get various Pontiacs, Camaros, and things like that. But there is a good selection of Japanese, European cars. So the race is starting up right here. You'll see it's a very cinematic game. Every event you do has like a really cool cutscene opening it up. And I should also mention that there is a story behind the game. Basically, you're an undercover cop. You're sent to sort of infiltrate a criminal racing circuit that has sort of these potential ties to an international smuggling ring. And they've returned to these sort of semi-cheesy full-motion video cutscenes that the Need for Speed series has been historically known for. I don't want to spoil any of the plot, so we're not going to show any of those today, but they're pretty interesting, and they feel a lot like an episode of 24, very sort of like flashy and cinematic.
Well, that's kind of neat.
Yeah, basically one of the big departures from last year is that Need for... Oops.
Oh, there's a
head-on collision.
Truck there, by the way.
Pro Street was sort of a simulation-style game. It felt a bit more realistic than this. This is a very, well, not super arcadey, but it's definitely more forgiving than Pro Street was.
Yeah, you did just head on a pickup truck.
Yeah, and I'm still driving to see the day.
Yeah.
Part of it is because I've got the power of freedom driving my car right now. But,
very good.
Yes.
Well, so this open world is huge. Doesn't it take something like 8 minutes to get across if you go in top speed?
It takes a while to get across. Basically, it's called the Tri-City Bay, which is sort of this warm, muggy sort of like, it's got this very warm hue to it, and it's supposed to be set in the Gulf Coast, so sort of like Texas sort of area. And yeah, it's really big. I'm in Palm Harbor, which is the downtown district, but it's also got these sort of industrial and suburban areas to it.
All right, well, you're spanking these other cars behind you. Let's go ahead and take some audience questions.
Yeah.
It's time to distract you.
All right, I've got a question here from Nick Schaefer, who wants to know, how's the steering in the game? Is it touchy, clunky? How's it feel?
It's really good, actually. I like the steering quite a bit. You can do a lot, and one of the things that they're trying to do is add this system called the Heroic Driving Engine, which is basically a way for you to do like really crazy stuff and make it look really stylish, and you actually earn reputation points for it to build up what's called your wheelman level, which is what you use to progress through the game. Yeah, so if I was actually using the Heroic Driving Engine, I would have avoided that collision. I would have done like a power slide through that corner. So one of the cool things is that the camera is not linked to your car, so you can be going like 90 miles an hour, do a 180 at speed, and then hit reverse and continue going in the same direction, and the camera will have stayed in the same spot that entire time, which is really cool.
You can view the whole thing and not make yourself sick.
Exactly, yeah. Oh, you still might get slightly sick, but less so than usual. So I might, I'll have to sacrifice the race here, but I can do that, go in reverse, and keep going like this, and then, turn around.
Get beat up
that kind of
times.
that kind of messed me up a little bit, but it comes in handy when you're being chased by cops, which happens fairly frequently in the game. And the cops are very tenacious. They will follow you to hell and back. They will chase you through alleys. They'll chase you into oncoming traffic on a freeway, set up spike strips. They'll set up blockades, and they get pretty angry, and they send helicopters after you too.
They're definitely a little bit more aggressive than they used to be in the last one.
And it's hard to hide out when you have a stupidly obnoxious paint job like I do.
All right, let's go ahead and grab a couple more questions because we're about to run out of time.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got a lot of questions. This one's from Sid in New York City. He wants to know, is there dynamic weather or dynamic time of day in the game?
It's generally set at this sort of like pre-sunset, really warm, golden time of day. And as far as I can tell, there's no dynamic weather system, so you don't have to worry about rain or anything like that messing you up.
Actually, I have one more.
Sure.
A lot of people are wondering, we touched a bit on customization, but a lot of people are wondering what exactly you can customize. Can you do like the interior of the cars?
It's sort of split in its accessibility. You can do quick upgrades, which are just like really quick, adjust your power or adjust your handling. You choose between those two. But you can dive a little bit deeper if you want to do that. You can adjust the drivetrain, force induction. You can adjust like the type of tires that you have. It's not super extensive like in a Forza 2 or Gran Turismo, but you can definitely tweak your cars pretty well. And once you have something purchased, you can go in and adjust the tuners to compensate for like horsepower versus torque and stuff like that.
All right, fantastic, Sean. Okay, so when's it coming out?
I believe it is coming out on November 18th.
Okay, and then what's it